Every single goal you have, every dream, every ambition, it's on the other side of a decision to stop negotiating with yourself, a decision to stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. You fall to your habits. And if your habit is to hit snooze, to procrastinate, to delay, to wait for motivation, then your life is going to reflect that. Plain and simple. Let me ask you, how bad do you want it? Because if you really want it, if you're serious, then you've got to stop being interested and start being committed. Big difference. Interested people wait until they feel ready. Committed people show up anyway. Committed people take action despite the fear, despite the fatigue, despite the doubt screaming in their heads. Do you know what successful people do? They don't feel like going to the gym, but they go anyway. They don't feel like making the calls, but they dial anyway. They don't feel like writing, studying, building, showing up, but they do it anyway. Because they know that action creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Action builds confidence. Here's the truth. Your brain is designed to protect you, to keep you safe. It wants comfort. It wants familiarity. It wants you to stay in the zone where nothing changes. So the moment you think about doing something difficult, it throws out every excuse it can. I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. What if I fail? That's not you talking. That's the mental autopilot trying to pull you back. And this is where you have to step in. This is where the 5-second window comes in. That tiny sliver of time where you have a choice. You get an idea, a burst of energy, a moment of clarity. And if you don't move, if you don't act within 5 seconds, your brain will kill it. You'll talk yourself out of it. So here's what I want you to do. Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Move. Speak. Launch. Hit send. Step into it. Don't wait to feel like it. Don't wait to be confident. Confidence isn't something you have. It's something you do. You earn it through repeated action, through consistency, through showing up when it's hard. You don't need more motivation. What you need is a decision that no matter how you feel, no matter how scared, overwhelmed, or exhausted, you will do the thing. You will take the step. You will show up for yourself. Let's be real. Success is not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's staying in when your friends are out. It's doing the work when no one is watching. And most of all, it's pushing through when you don't feel like it. That's where the growth is. That's where the breakthrough lives. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build the muscle of self-trust. And self-trust? That's the foundation of confidence. That's how you walk into any room knowing who you are, because you've shown up for yourself over and over again. Look, forcing yourself isn't about being harsh. It's about being honest. It's about calling out your own BS. It's about saying, I want more, and I'm done making excuses. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. So decide right now, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person who always talks about what they're going to do, or the one who does it? Do you want to be the one with potential, or the one with results? Because at some point, you have to stop dreaming and start doing. You have to stop wishing and start working. You have to stop waiting and start moving. Your goals, your future, they are waiting for you to get out of your own way, to stop letting fear run your life, to stop giving power to doubt. You have everything you need inside of you right now. You just have to act. So I challenge you, no, I dare you, starting today. Force yourself. When the alarm rings, get up. When it's time to work, dive in. When it gets uncomfortable, lean in. Because that's where champions are made. That's where dreams are built. Not in comfort, but in discipline. And remember, this life you want, this person you want to become, you're not going to stumble into it. You're going to build it, decision by decision, day by day, one uncomfortable, courageous step at a time. So stop waiting, start forcing, start showing up, and don't stop until your reality matches your vision. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You will rarely feel like doing the hard things. Motivation is unreliable. If you wait until you're ready or motivated, you'll never start. Winners take action regardless of how they feel. Let me be brutally honest with you. If you're sitting around waiting for the right moment, for the perfect feeling, for that magical burst of motivation to push you into action, you're going to be stuck exactly where you are for the rest of your life. That moment you're waiting for, it's not coming. It's not some divine lightning bolt that suddenly strikes you and transforms you into a disciplined, high-performing version of yourself. It doesn't work like that. If it did, everyone would be fit, rich, successful, and fulfilled. But they're not. You know why? Because most people waste their entire lives waiting to feel ready. Here's the truth. Feeling ready is a myth. It's a lie your brain tells you to keep you comfortable. Your brain's number one job is survival. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about building a legacy or reaching your full potential. It cares about keeping things safe, familiar, and predictable. So the moment you think about doing something uncomfortable, something challenging, something that could change your life, your brain hits the emergency brakes. It whispers things like, "Not today," "You're not ready yet," "What if you fail?" And the moment you believe that voice, you stop, you shrink, you retreat, and you stay exactly where you've always been. But here's what successful people know. You don't have to feel ready to take action. You just have to decide. That's it. You make the decision, and then you move. And guess what happens? When you act, even when you don't feel like it, you begin to build momentum. And momentum is powerful. Momentum turns into progress. Progress turns into growth. And growth turns into transformation. But none of that happens if you're sitting around waiting for the perfect emotional state to carry you into motion. Because that state rarely comes. Or if it does, it doesn't last. Look around at the people who are crushing their goals, whether it's in business, fitness, relationships, or personal growth. They're not running on motivation 24/7. They're not superhuman. They're not wired differently. What separates them from everyone else is their willingness to act, despite how they feel. That's it. They wake up tired, but they go anyway. They feel fear, but they step forward anyway. They don't feel inspired every day, but they still show up because they know the secret. You act first, and the feeling follows. We've all had moments where we didn't want to do something, but we did it anyway, and afterward, we felt amazing. That workout you didn't want to do, you crushed it, and you walked out stronger. That task you were dreading, you tackled it, and the relief was worth it. That conversation you avoided, you had it, and it brought you clarity. That's the power of action. It changes how you feel. But the reverse, waiting to feel like it before doing it, that changes nothing. It only strengthens the habit of procrastination. It conditions you to avoid discomfort. It teaches your brain that your feelings are in charge, and that is a dangerous way to live. You're not always going to be excited. You're not always going to be confident. You're not always going to be fearless, but you can always be committed. Commitment means showing up when it's hard. It means pushing through when the excitement fades. It means keeping promises to yourself, even when you're not in the mood. And that's where real change happens. That's where you separate yourself from the crowd. Let's talk about the cost of waiting to feel ready. Every day you wait, you lose time. And time is the one thing you can never get back. You lose opportunities, you lose growth, you lose momentum, and worst of all, you lose trust in yourself. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," and don't, you reinforce the belief that you can't count on yourself. You chip away at your own confidence. On the outside, you might look fine, but inside, you're quietly losing the battle. Imagine where you could be if you had taken action the first time the idea came to you. Imagine the skills you'd have, the habits you'd build, the life you'd be living, the version of you that has everything you want. That version didn't wait. They took the leap. They moved when it was messy. They started when they were scared, and that's what you need to do. You don't need more time. You don't need more research. You don't need permission. You need to trust yourself enough to start right now, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, because that's where growth lives, on the other side of discomfort. So stop waiting. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop looking for the right mood, the perfect plan, the ideal circumstances. They're not coming, but your power, that's already here. Your ability to choose, to move, to act, that's in your hands right now. Don't let your feelings run your life. Let your decisions do that. Decide that you're done letting hesitation control your future. Decide that you're done holding yourself back. And then move, act, step, even if it's small, even if it's shaky, even if your heart is pounding and your mind is screaming. Move anyway. Because every step you take in discomfort is a message to your future self. I'm coming for you. I'm building you. I'm becoming you. And that right there is how you win. But here's the good news. You can interrupt that pattern. You can take back control. All it takes is 5 seconds. Literally, 5 seconds. This isn't motivational fluff. This is brain science. Your brain has a built-in habit loop. The moment you hesitate on something uncomfortable, your brain senses danger and pulls you away. Not because it's truly dangerous, but because it's unfamiliar. Change feels risky to your subconscious. So when you pause to think, even for a second, your brain floods you with fear, excuses, or self-doubt to protect you. That's why you must act before your brain shuts it down. That's where the 5-second rule comes in. The moment you feel the urge to act on anything that will move your life forward, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and you move, you speak, you walk, you click, you start, you bypass the mental trapdoor and take back the wheel. This simple rule changes everything, because what you're doing is shifting from autopilot to decision maker. You're breaking the habit of hesitation, and you're replacing it with action. Not someday, not later, not when it's easier. Right now, because 5 seconds is all it takes to decide your future. Think about how many life-changing actions start with just 5 seconds of courage, sending a message, saying yes, walking into a room, clicking apply, starting the workout, making the call. 5 seconds can be the difference between moving forward and staying stuck. The key is this: you cannot give your mind time to talk you out of it. You're not waiting for confidence. You're not waiting for a plan to be perfect. You're not waiting to feel ready. You're acting on instinct, on that deep, intuitive part of you that knows what you need to do. That part of you is wise. It's aligned with your highest self, but it only speaks in whispers, and it fades fast. That's why you have to move immediately. When that idea hits, when the urge rises, you count and go. Don't wait for the right words. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the anxiety to pass. Go through it. Move through it. Because once you're in motion, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to shift. It says, "Oh, we're doing this," and it supports you. The fear fades. The resistance dies down. The energy rises. But you've got to take the first step before your excuses do. Let me be clear. The 5-second rule won't make your actions easier. It will make them possible. It doesn't remove fear. It helps you override it. Because fear is automatic. But courage is a decision you make in 5 seconds flat. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to feel brave. You just need to act before the fear locks you down. Every time you use this rule, you're proving to yourself that you're in control, that your future matters more than your comfort, that your goals are worth the risk of discomfort. And the more you use it, the stronger you get. It becomes a habit, a new mental muscle. Suddenly, you're not thinking about whether to act. You're just doing it. Think of all the things you've avoided, delayed, or abandoned because you hesitated. Think of where you'd be if you had just moved, if you had just started, that business you didn't launch, that call you didn't make, that opportunity you let pass. It wasn't because you weren't capable. It was because you paused, and the pause became paralysis. But now you know better. You have a tool, a weapon, and it's always in your pocket. Every single time hesitation creeps in, you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and you disrupt the cycle. You shift from passive to powerful. You reclaim the moment. This rule is not just about big life moves. It's about everything. Waking up when the alarm goes off, speaking up in meetings, saying no when it matters, saying yes when it scares you, opening that laptop when you don't feel like working, going to the gym when your body wants to quit. It's in the micro moments that your life is shaped. It's in the decision to move when you'd rather stay still, to act when everything in you wants to wait. And here's the kicker. Every time you act, your confidence grows. Because confidence isn't a feeling. It's a byproduct of action. The more you act, the more you trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more unstoppable you become. You don't need more information. You don't need more time. You don't need to feel like it. You need to stop hesitating and start deciding, 5 seconds at a time. So the next time that voice in your head says, I should, don't let it become, I wish I had. Don't let hesitation steal another moment of your life. You are not here to sit on your potential. You are here to chase it, to claim it, to become it. And it starts with the next decision you make. That moment is coming. It might be today. It might be in 5 minutes. And when it does, you know what to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That's the power. That's the move. That's how you start building the life you were meant to live. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's not a magical personality trait reserved for the few lucky ones. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or the one with the perfect life. Real confidence, the kind that fuels action, that pushes you to speak up, show up, and keep going, is built. And it's built through one thing: discipline. Not talent, not motivation, discipline. That's the secret no one talks about. Confidence isn't what shows up before you act. It's what grows because you act. And more specifically, because you follow through. Every time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you send a message to your brain, I can count on me. That message gets stored, it gets reinforced, it gets repeated, and slowly, brick by brick, you begin to trust yourself. That's what confidence is. It's self-trust. It's knowing that no matter what happens, you'll show up. You'll do the work, you'll figure it out. But here's where most people mess it up. They think confidence is a feeling. They think they need to feel confident before they act. So they wait, they stall, they prepare, they hope, and they keep hoping as the opportunities pass them by. But let me tell you something. Confidence isn't the fuel. It's the reward. You don't get it before the work. You earn it through the work, through the reps, through the discipline of showing up, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Discipline is the daily decision to do what needs to be done even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, it's saying yes to your goals and no to your excuses. It's getting up when the alarm goes off, even though your bed is warm. It's hitting the gym, even though you're tired. It's writing the page, making the call, doing the reps, when you'd rather do anything else. And every single time you do that, you're strengthening something inside you. You're proving to yourself that you are not driven by mood, but by mission. That you are not led by feelings, but by purpose. And that proof is powerful. It rewires your identity. You go from someone who doubts to someone who decides, from someone who hesitates to someone who handles it. Let's be clear, discipline isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. No one's handing you a trophy for eating clean for a week or waking up early. But discipline doesn't care about applause. It cares about alignment, with your vision, with your standards, with the life you said you wanted. Because talk is cheap. Anyone can say they want to succeed. Anyone can make a vision board or set a goal. But discipline, that's action. That's doing the thing when no one is watching. That's showing up with zero recognition and doing it anyway because you know who you're becoming in the process. And that's where the transformation happens. Because when you're disciplined, you stop needing outside validation. You don't need anyone to tell you you're doing great. You know you are. You've got evidence. You've got receipts. You're not building confidence based on compliments. You're building it based on character, on consistency, on the daily grind of doing what matters. And that kind of confidence, it's unshakable. It doesn't crack under pressure. It doesn't disappear when things get tough. It shows up because things are tough. Think about the people you admire, the ones who walk into a room with certainty, the ones who lead, who inspire, who perform. They didn't wake up that way. They trained, they practiced, they failed, they got back up over and over. What you see is the byproduct of relentless discipline, and that can be you. But you have to start where they did, with one decision, one act of discipline at a time. Because you don't build confidence with one big win. You build it with 100 small ones, getting up, showing up, following through, repeating that cycle until it becomes who you are. Let me say this too. Discipline is a form of self-respect. When you keep showing up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, you're saying, I matter. My goals matter. My future matters. You're no longer waiting for someone to save you, to push you, to motivate you. You become your own accountability. And there is nothing more empowering than that. You stop waiting for inspiration because you are the inspiration. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop living in guilt and regret and start living in power and momentum. Because discipline isn't a punishment, it's freedom. The freedom to become who you were always meant to be. And yes, it's hard. Of course it's hard. Growth is hard. That's the point. That's what makes it worth it. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're choosing growth over stagnation. And in those hard moments, when you push through, when you rise up, when you do it anyway, that's when you grow. That's when you evolve. And that's when confidence is born, not as a feeling, but as a fact rooted in your actions. So don't sit around waiting to feel confident before you act. That's backward. Instead, act with discipline. Be the person who does it regardless. Be the person who shows up even when it's inconvenient. And watch what happens. Watch how your confidence grows, not from empty affirmations, but from earned respect, self-respect. Because the most powerful force in the world is someone who believes in themselves, and that belief is built one disciplined decision at a time. Let's get one thing straight. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your guide. It's the sign that you're growing, that you're stepping out of the life you've always known and into the one you actually want. But most people don't see it that way. Most people run from discomfort. The moment things feel hard, the moment the fear creeps in, the moment it gets awkward, unfamiliar, or painful, they quit. They retreat. They convince themselves that maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The life you want is on the other side of discomfort, not before it, not around it, through it. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. If everything feels safe and easy, you're not reaching. You're just repeating. Look, it's human nature to crave comfort. Our brains are wired for survival, and comfort feels safe. But comfort doesn't change your life. Comfort doesn't push you to become better. Comfort doesn't build resilience or grit or strength. Discomfort does. Discomfort is the gym where your character is built. It's the place where your limits get stretched, your fears get tested, and your courage gets developed. When you feel that tightness in your chest, that doubt in your mind, that fire in your belly, that's not a signal to stop. That's a signal to go, to lean in, to push harder. Because that's where the magic happens. Think about it. Every breakthrough you've ever had in your life came after some kind of struggle, some challenge, some tension. It didn't come while you were relaxed on the couch. It came when you pushed past something that scared you, when you did something that made your hands shake or your heart race, when you stepped into a room or onto a stage or into a decision that made you feel completely exposed, and you came out stronger. Why? Because you earned it. You didn't run. You didn't hide. You faced the discomfort, and it changed you. But we live in a world that glorifies ease, instant gratification, quick fixes, no effort, maximum results. Let me tell you, those promises are lies. You don't build a strong body without pain. You don't build a successful business without sacrifice. You don't build a powerful mindset without wrestling your own excuses into the ground. You want to get better? Get uncomfortable. Get up earlier than you want. Do the reps you hate. Make the hard call. Have the honest conversation. Face the rejection. Own the failure. Sit in the awkward silence. Do the thing that makes your stomach turn. Because that is the path. That's the doorway to the next version of you. You have to understand, discomfort is temporary, but what it creates in you, that lasts. The pain of doing the work, of showing up when it's hard, of facing resistance, that fades. But the pride, the growth, the grit, the identity you build, that becomes who you are. Every time you step into discomfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. The future version of you is counting on you to be bold today, to be disciplined today, to be uncomfortable today, so that one day you'll wake up and realize you're living the life that once scared you. It's not about being fearless. Fear is always going to be there, but you don't need to be fearless. You need to be brave. You need to feel the fear and move anyway, feel the doubt and speak anyway, feel the resistance and act anyway. That's what embracing discomfort looks like. It's not absence of fear, it's mastery of fear. It's the ability to keep going even when every part of you wants to run. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. You don't rise by avoiding discomfort, you rise by using it as fuel. When things get hard, most people ask, how can I make this easier? High performers ask, how can I get stronger? They don't avoid the weight, they lift it. They don't avoid the challenge, they train for it. Because they know the hard stuff is what forges greatness. You don't become extraordinary by choosing the easy path. You become extraordinary by choosing the right one, the one that challenges you to grow beyond your limits. And yes, you're going to fail sometimes. You're going to mess up. You're going to feel like quitting. That's part of it. That's the process. But failure inside discomfort is never a step back. It's a step forward if you choose to learn. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, about showing up one more time, taking one more step, doing one more thing that scares you. And when you do, you discover something powerful. You're stronger than you thought, braver than you believed, more capable than you ever imagined. The next time you feel that resistance, that anxiety, that fear, that's the moment to move. That's the exact moment most people run. Don't be most people. Train your brain to recognize discomfort as a green light, not a red one. When it feels tough, keep going. When it feels scary, lean in. When your mind screams stop, you whisper back, I'm just getting started. That's how you build a life that matters. That's how you build a legacy. One uncomfortable step at a time. So no more excuses. No more waiting for it to feel easy. No more backing off when it gets hard. You're here to grow. You're here to stretch. You're here to become the person you were meant to be. And that person, they live on the other side of discomfort.